nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Indeed, the time has come for the President to demand greater performance and accountability.
Speaker Abbas Tajuddin tasked President Tinubu on security challenges in the country as House resumes from Christmas and New Year break.
The committee is fully aware of the concerns of Nigerians on the need to find a law.
And lawmakers worry over the spate of kidnappings and banditry in the country to invoke the provisions of the Constitution to protect Nigerians. Thanks for tuning into House Tickets, your regular legislative program providing education on the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House reconvened from the Christmas and New Year holiday on Tuesday, 30th January 2024. But adjourned again for another legislative week in order to allow lawmakers participate during the by-elections in their constituencies across the country. On this package, therefore, we have reports on the brief plenary held by the lawmakers, amongst other happenings around the House of Representatives. One of such is the engagement of the House Committee on Public Account, as well as the pre-inaugural meeting of the House Committee on Constitution Review. Please stay tuned for details coming up shortly. Keep watching.
The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Thanks for staying tuned. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, welcomed his colleagues back from the Christmas and New Year holiday on Tuesday, 30th January 2024. In his address to members on that day, the Speaker said that the National Assembly will prioritize issues concerning security and economy in 2024, proposing a National Legislative Security Summit.
The proposed Security Summit is expected to make far-reaching recommendations and concrete areas for legislative intervention. Some priority legislative actions in our agenda include improving oversight of the sector, legislating the establishment of a Security Sector Reform Commission to oversee reforms within the sector, introducing stricter penalties for misappropriation, misallocation, or any form of financial malpractice within the security sector. This engagement will assess the nation's readiness to mobilize the necessary financial resources for implementing the 2024 budget.
The Speaker also listed other legislative priorities, which includes speedy consideration of electoral reforms, alteration of the 1999 Constitution, improved citizens' engagement, enhanced oversight, institutional capacity strengthening, and greater collaboration with the executive. Speaker Abbas also expressed his concern over the widespread insecurity that have bedeviled the nation.
The threats of insurgency are severely testing the peace and stability of our dear country. The rise in kidnapping for ransom and the unsettling unrest and crises across all the 6 geopolitical zones. Families and communities have endured immense hardships, and our hearts go to all those affected by these tumultuous events. We are particularly saddened by the tragic and senseless murder of our daughters, Nabiha Al-Qadriya and Forunsho Ario, the heinous murder of over 30 people in Plateau State, as well as many others who have fallen victim to the mindless acts of terror in the last few weeks. We also remember those who lost their lives in the blast in Ibadan, triggered by explosives stored by illegal miners.
While commending the patriotic and brave security forces for their gallantry and sacrifice, the Speaker stated that the time had come for the forces to review their approaches and strategies, while charging them to rise and demonstrate the steadfast spirit for which they are known and to do more in order to protect the Nigerian people. The Speaker also noted that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had exhibited exemplary leadership through a proactive approach through his recent interventions and directives for more action by security agencies were timely and reflective of his deep-seated resolve to restore peace and order.
Indeed, the time has come for the President to demand greater performance and accountability from our service chiefs and all security and enforcement agencies. I implore the President not to shy away from making the tough decisions. If necessary, we must not hesitate to enact changes within our security apparatus for the cost of inaction if inaction is far too great to bear.
Speaker Abbas Tajuddin thanked members of the 10th House for the expeditious passage of the 2024 Appropriation Bill.
The expeditious consideration and passage of the budget speaks to our collective resolve to address our nation's present economic challenges. We must shift our focus towards ensuring the judicious and meticulous implementation of the budget, which is intended to be catalytic in lifting our economy from its current state of stagnation. Every committee is tasked with engaging the ministries, departments, and agencies to oversee the effective execution of the budgetary allocation and ensure that every naira allocated in the budget is utilized efficiently and transparently.
With that, the House went into a closed-door session, reverting back to plenary to consider some motions on the matters of urgent public importance. Our next report will bring you details of these motions.
The House notes that there has been an increase in criminal activities in Ekiti North 1.
The House, during the one-day sitting, considered and adopted 5 motions on the matters of urgent public importance, one of which was moved by Representative Akintunde Rotimi Jr., on the need for security agencies to urgently stem the tide of criminality ravaging Ekiti State.
On Monday, January 29, 2024, these criminals carried out a dastardly attack in the Okeako area in Ikole local government area, resulting in the death of 2 traditional rulers. The Onimojo of Imojo Ekiti, Oba Dr. Olatunji Samuel Olushola, and the Eleso of Esu Ekiti, Oba David Babatunde Ogushaki, and leaving a host of others with life-threatening injuries. Shocked that this is not an isolated event, as in the past few days alone, a commercial driver was killed between Ayedo and Ayebode by armed bandits. And just yesterday, a school bus load of students were abducted in Emure, Ekiti, and their whereabouts is still unknown till now. Aware that the late Onimojo was an intellectual and highly intelligent historian, an orator who always spoke truth to power. Also aware that the late Elesu was a peace-loving king who was very hands-on in the development of Esu-Ayedu communities.
The House, amongst several other resolutions, agreed to observe a minute's silence in honor of the memory of the dearly departed monarchs, urge the Chief of Army Staff to deploy adequate military personnel to the outpost along Okeako-Irele area to enhance security and forestall a repeat of these beastly acts, and to urge the security agencies to put all measures in place to rescue the school children and teachers that were abducted in Emure, Ekiti State. To mandate the House Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report back to the House within 2 weeks for further legislative action.
You say aye.
The motion was voted on and adopted.
Shall we rise for a minute's silence? Rest in peace.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under...
Similarly, Representative Ishaya David Lalu moved a motion on the attack on Mangu community in Plateau State by insurgents.
On the 24th of January 2024, there was another attack on the people of Mangu local government area of Plateau State, killing more than 50 persons, other serious injuries, with over 1,000 houses and properties, or billions of naira completely destroyed, with about 20,000 people displaced at different IDP camps within and outside the local government area. Further note that most of the victims that sustain various degrees of injuries are currently receiving medical attention in different hospitals within the state. Worried that the continuous attack by terrorists in Mangu local government area and Bokos local government area of Plateau State need to be addressed immediately.
He called on the relevant security agencies to ensure peace in the region and that the relevant committees of the House should also ensure compliance.
In support of this motion, she say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the relevant committees of the House for further action.
Shall we rise for a minute's silence? Rest in peace.
I rise under Order 8, Rule 4.
Still on matters of urgent public importance, Representative Rodney Ebikebina also moved a motion on the urgent need to contain the oil spillage from offshore facilities in southern Ijaw of Bayelsa State to forestall environmental degradation.
The volume of the damage recorded since 3rd of January 2024 until date, if not quickly arrested, will cause further damage to the waters and their content, leading to a near annihilation of aquatic lives, which is the only source of livelihood of the Middleton communities and certain Ijaw coastal communities. The House worried that despite the prompt reporting of this incident, the slow reaction of the companies who own these facilities around this coastal line to take responsibility over the incident is disturbing. The lethargic attitude of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, to promptly detect the area of leakage and contain the spillage will lead to massive unrest among youths and other residents of the impacted southern Ijaw coastal communities.
The lawmaker called on the oil companies to take measures to ensure their facilities are well structured and not dilapidated to the level of spilling oil. Also, that the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream should ensure compliance.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, as well as other relevant committees.
I rise this glorious day.
Another motion that was voted on and adopted was titled, "The Urgent Need for Federal Government Intervention to Ease the Devastating Effect of the Fire Outbreak that ravaged the market in Igbarakpa East area of Oyo State." It was moved by Representative Aderemi Hussaini.
The good people of Ibarakwa East was thrown into confusion and agony on the 20th of December 2023 due to a ravaging fire outbreak that raced down the popular market called Maya in the Ibarakwa East area of Oyo State and destroyed goods worth hundreds of millions in naira. Mr. Speaker, also note that the ugly fire incident burned the entire structures, goods, and facilities in the market to ashes. The unprecedented incidents occasioned wanton loss of goods, shops, and properties, with some people sustaining various degrees of injury. All efforts by the people to contain the fire proved abortive. Further note that the Market is the major market that serves the people in the area, and as a result, the fire incident has left a lot of casualties, loss of markets, as the structures were completely burnt down, loss of goods that was several millions of naira, trading capitals of the people which were largely borrowed, and loss of livelihood, as trading is their major source of livelihood of the people, as they are dominantly farmers and petty traders. Concerned that the traders just restocked their shops for the Christmas sales, the effects of this incident on the affected persons and the community at large is unimaginable.
He called on the federal government through the National Emergency Management Agency to adhere to the renewed hope agenda for Nigerians and send relief materials to the affected individuals. He further called on the House Committee on SMEDAN, NEMA, Trade and Investment, as well as that on legislative compliance to ensure compliance. The motion was referred to the House Committee on NEMA, Trade and Investment, as well as that on legislative compliance.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful.
Meanwhile, Representative Harrison Nwadike of Imo State was sworn in on Tuesday, 30th January 2024, after the court upturned the election of Representative Ugonna Ozurigbo. He represents Isu, Njaba, Nkwere, Nwangele Federal Constituency under the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC.
So help me God.
You are watching House Tickets, a weekly program that keeps you up to speed on the activities and events of your lawmakers, coming to you on the parliamentary channel of the NTA. The House Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria held a pre-inaugural meeting on Wednesday, 31st January 2024. The committee is chaired by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, who, while making the opening remarks, said that 40 bills have already been received for the commencement of the 1999 Constitution review.
It is not out of place to guess that there is some level of fatigue in the amendment process by some vocal sections of the populace. Whatever opinion you hold, it is important to let you know that we presently have 40 bills that are at various stages of consideration, which relates to the alteration of the Constitution.
Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu stated that the work of the committee will be completed by December 2025. The Deputy Speaker also noted that the committee will take into consideration the concerns of Nigerians and will give Nigeria a constitution that will reflect the yearnings of the people. He said the committee will consider some important bills that failed to receive the needed attention in the last constitution review.
The committee is fully aware of the concerns of Nigerians on the need to finalize and conclude discussions around Nigeria's constitution. I would like to state, however, the nature of Nigeria's constitution and the history around how it was made and handed over to a new civilian government in 1999 makes it imperative for us to continually revisit the several provisions of the Constitution and work towards accomplishing consensus on outstanding constitutional debates.
Right Honorable Benjamin then announced that the inauguration of the committee will come up on the 16th of February 2024. He declared the intent of the committee to continue to partner with the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, as well as other civil society groups in carrying out the task before it. The meeting, however, continued behind closed doors.
By the grace of God and the leave of Mr. Speaker, Chairman Public Account Committee of the...
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Public Account has directed the Federal Fire Service to refund the sum of 1,484,903,760 naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, being part of the COVID-19 Intervention Fund for the year 2020 and 2021, or phase the law. The decision came after lawmakers frowned at the failure of the Federal Fire Service to appear before the committee in its resumed hearing on the investigation of the COVID-19 intervention funds in 2020 and 2021. This was on Wednesday, 31st January 2024.
Mr. Chairman, you have used this committee to do justice to this investigation. So many agencies have appeared. The investigation is ongoing, and I see no reason that an agency of government that got over R1 billion will refuse to appear before this very important investigation, very constitutional committee that we supposed to respect. The whole Nigerians are respecting this committee because of the constitutional power it drives. And if Federal Fire Service will deal with the committee this way, I feel we should summon them to appear on a specific date. That is my position on the Federal Fire Service.
Federal Fire Service were given invitations for the third time, and they didn't appear. Others had 2 invitations. And for us, and for me, I feel we have exhausted all the chances necessary for this agency. Therefore, I want to advise and call on this honorable committee that in the form of a motion that Federal Fire Service should refund to the coffers of the government, to CRF, the sum of 1.4 billion naira to Consolidated Revenue Fund, being monies released for COVID-19 intervention, because they did not appear here to tell us, to tell this committee that they have actually utilized these funds that were released to them.
I want to re-emphasize this, that this is the last opportunity. This motion moved by Honorable Zakaria Iyampa, passed by the House, with a specific time frame for us to finish. The Public Account Committee has so many other assignments. The COVID-19 investigation is just one of such, and we can't keep on, on this same matter for too long.
Other MDAs that were billed to appear for further investigation before the committee are the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC), which got the sum of 5 billion naira, Federal Ministry of Agriculture 63.8 billion naira, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation 33 billion naira, and Federal Ministry of Women Affairs through the Center for Women Development 1,250 million naira. They are all expected to appear before the committee takes a decisive action on them. Following this, the committee adjourned its meeting to Thursday, 8 February 2024.
Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Meeting adjourned till Thursday, February 8th at 12 noon. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
And it is on that note that we end the program. Do not forget to keep a date with us on this same station for more on the activities of your lawmakers at the legislature. Until I come your way again, it's bye for now.